guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have something that you're not used to seeing on our channel. Yes, it's an electric car, and in this case it's a Tesla Model 3. Now this belongs to my business partner Bilal, who is the co-founder of Eventuri. And the reason why we have this on our channel today, and the reason why we actually bought the car, is to do aero development on it with our new brand Evaero. But while we have the car, it'd be rude not to do a project on it. So we do have some new wheels coming, and we also need to address this wheel arch gap that you can see. It sits very high, and I think the car will look a lot sleeker when it's lowered down, but we don't want to compromise the ride that the Tesla has, and we want to improve the handling if we can at the same time. So MSS have visited us today, and they've given us their development MSS spring kit for this car. If you haven't been following our channel, we can put a link up so you can see what this kit is all about on the other cars. We've been really impressed with the way the kit works and how all the cars ride with it. It really works well on UKB roads, especially when they're really bumpy and undulating. So we're going to fit the kit to this car, and I'm not going to give the initial driving impressions on this because Bilal has done so much mileage in this car. He's going to let you know what the car was like before and what it's like after the MSS. So let's get the kit on there now. So now the technicians are halfway through the job, we can take a closer look at the MSS Ride Management System compared to the stock. So we've got the stock front assembly here with the shock absorber and the spring. And you can see that the MSS spring fits into the stock spring location, but has the adjuster at the bottom so you can control the ride height. On the rear, on the Tesla, the shock and spring are separate. So we've just got the spring out here, which is very large, and that has a lot of travel, and that's a lot to do with the amount of comfort the Tesla has. So the MSS fits into the stock spring location again on the rear. This bottom spring is made out of two different spring rates. The adjuster sits on top of that, and then it has another spring on top, which is the third spring rate. So this whole rear assembly has three spring rates, and that's what provides the MSS an advantage over the other kits on the market. So not only is it comfortable, it can lower within a range of stock to minus 30 mil with the adjuster here. So the idea with the Tesla kit is it's already a comfortable car. So it's to provide it with aesthetics, not lose any of the comfort, and also improve the handling. So we're going to put this on the car now. We'll let Bilal drive the car for about a week so he can provide us some really good feedback on how this is performing compared to stock. And we've also been monitoring the range, so we're going to see if lowering the car actually improves the efficiency of this vehicle. So as you've seen, we've installed the MSS suspension on the Tesla Model 3, and as part of the visual transformation of that car, it's also having a wrap, which Bilal has gone to go and get done now. We'll get his driving impressions of the MSS in a short while. But in the meantime, the other thing we're adding to the car is the set of forged wheels from 660 Design. These are 20 by 8.5, so they're the same size as you would get on the Model 3 Performance, but these are slightly more aggressive offset, so they sit flush, so they'll look fantastic on the car, especially with the drop. Now, wheels are not only about aesthetics, these are forged wheels, so they should be considerably lighter than the performance wheels that come on a Model 3. So we're going to stick these on the scales and have a look at how much they weigh. So we've got 10.55 kgs, which for a 20-inch wheel is actually very light. And the finish on these is a matte grey brushed, and it's absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see them on the car. So we put these over here, and we'll grab a set of the performance wheels, which we have here. Yeah, I can immediately feel that these are heavier. So we'll see how much these weigh. So 13.10. So yeah, you're looking at around 2.5 kg saving per wheel, which should make a difference to not only the way the car drives and handles, but in theory it should improve the range of the car because it requires less effort to move the wheels. The MSS suspension also, we're going to have a look at whether that improves the range, because we've been told that when you lower the car, it improves the drag efficiency of it and should help with the range on it. So what we're going to do is get those wheels on the car now. We're using the same tyres that you would get on the Performance, which are the Michelin PS4S with a special sponge inside for the noise reduction. So not only should it look really good, it should help with the range and should help with the drive of the car. So let's get those on, take a look at what it looks like, and get Bilal's driving impressions. So we're joining Bilal Mahmood, who is the co-founder of Eventuri, in his Tesla, which he uses for commuting. MSS springs are on the car, wheels are also on the car, so we can go for a drive and have a little chat about his experiences. So you ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Not too fast, yeah? Not used to this kind of power. So how long have you had this car now?
Just under a year now, I think. So I think it's about 10 or 11 months.
And what were you commuting in before that?
So I think, yeah, this is where we need to kind of qualify why on earth did I go for an electric car in the first place. So being a petrol head like Imran, obviously I do all the design on the intake, so I'm a petrol head through and through. Had M3s, had an M5, still an M5. But my journey to work is literally a 110-mile round trip every day. Very boring journey on the motorway, M11, M25, school run in the morning as well. And I've been doing that for a good part of 5 years. So my last car was the BMW 5 Series diesel, which was good for the job, but sitting in motorways for hours every week in traffic is very monotonous, very boring, and very tiring as well. Then we thought, okay, the Tesla seemed to tick many boxes in terms of It's driver aids, the comfort factor of not having vibrations with an engine, no noise. So that's the main reason why we went for this car, is to improve my daily journey to and from work.
And if I remember correctly, we worked out how much money you were spending on diesel. Take a right here. And the amount of money you're spending on diesel, was it covering the monthly cost on this? Was it near enough?
Yeah, so if we took into account the cost of charging the car, and then the cost of the monthlies on this car, the diesel was a little bit more, but then, I mean, we're not hiring this car, we're paying for it, so
yeah,
we'd have an asset at the end, but it works out long term. But for me, it wasn't the cost factor, it was just, can I improve my life?
Yeah.
You know,
and you can safely say that you have, because both being petrol heads, we basically met through having cars, and we started a business together just through our passion for basically M cars. And to see him driving a Tesla was a bit of a strange experience, and the amount he actually loved it. He'd come back and tell us about how great this Tesla was.
It's literally has transformed my journey to and from work. I don't now, dread that morning journey. If I was doing, like, I don't know, a half an hour drive through country lanes with no traffic, then yeah, I wouldn't need this car. But this car solves a lot of issues in terms of, just comfort, just that I feel more relaxed getting to work, because I'm not as mentally strained as I was in the diesel. There's no vibrations in the car, there's no noise, and autopilot is just a game changer for me. On the motorway, I put on autopilot. Obviously, I'm still focused on the road, but I'm not, mentally strained.
You're not having to concentrate so much on the driving aspect of it.
I feel much more relaxed. I find myself driving slower on the motorway in this car.
That's because you got range anxiety.
No. I don't have any. I had range anxiety in the beginning, I admit that, but now we have a charger set up at work.
Yeah.
I have zero range anxiety. It's literally just because you're much more chilled in the car, And
no, I have to say, because when I borrowed the i3S from Park Lane, that's what I felt. I felt like so serene.
Yeah.
Driving, because it's so quiet, and we're used to like really loud, noisy cars.
Exactly.
So that brings us to the point of the main reason for Bill buying this Tesla for the business was for his commute, and also because we want to develop parts on it, mainly aero parts. So we are going to design a body kit for this in carbon fiber with our new brand Evaero. But the main reason for this video, apart from introducing the Tesla, is the MSS suspension that we put on the car and the wheels. So let's talk about the suspension. What was the ride like before? What was the aesthetics like before? And what was the handling like before? Because that's the three main things that we're going to look at.
So let's start with the aesthetics. I think the Model 3 has some really nice clean lines. It's got a great silhouette, but this is the long range version, so it sits slightly higher than the performance version. Now, that ride height completely lets the car down in terms of the way it looks. It's just flying in the air. It had a massive gap between the arch and the wheels. So for me, although the car looked clean, but it just was wrecked by the ridiculous ride height. So I really wanted that suspension as soon as possible, and it was a must. Moving on to the comfort, on standard springs, it was good. It was really, it was damped. It wasn't harsh. Maybe a little bit crashy over certain surfaces, but very comfortable. On the motorways, it was, very smooth. It floated over a lot of surfaces. However, handling-wise, if you try to take a quick corner or change the direction quickly, you do feel that floaty kind of sensation. It wasn't.
You feel the weight of the car. I thought you did feel, even though it's got low center of gravity because all the batteries at the bottom, I felt like it would roll a lot, and it did feel like the weight was transferring over to whichever corner you were going into.
Very unsettled. You do a quick left right, and you'd feel the whole car kind of
swaying.
Sway. It wasn't comfortable. It just was unsettling, and especially for passengers, that wouldn't feel very nice because the car wasn't very sure didn't feel very short.
So how has the MSS improved that?
So
Talking about those three things.
right, so aesthetics is bang on. I mean, it's lowered the car. There is still a small gap, but it's so much better, and it's still very usable in terms of bumps, speed bumps and stuff. It's not crazy low, so
Yeah.
I'm not having to really baby the car over speed bumps.
Yeah, I think the problem is because the car sits too high, you don't want to lower too much
Yeah.
on the stock dampers, otherwise you take them out of
Exactly,
out of the
yeah.
range. So you want to be able to lower it so it looks good, but not so much that you're going to affect the way the stock dampers
Right.
work. Because the
Right.
whole idea of this upgrade is to keep your stock dampers and just change the spring setup.
Yeah.
So what about the comfort levels?
Comfort, surprisingly, it's almost the same. It's still very well damped. It's not crashy at all. It absorbs bumps very well. Obviously, you do feel the bumps a bit more, but it's not like, uncomfortable at all. I haven't at any stage thought, oh, this is a lot more uncomfortable than it was. I'd say it's 90% as comfortable, 95% even as comfortable as the stock springs in terms
Yes.
of.
So normally when you change springs, you expect there to be less comfort because that's what
Yeah.
normally happens.
Yeah.
So what you're saying with the MSS is you've got the aesthetics from the lowering, but you've still retained more or less most of the
More or
comfort
less, yeah.
that the stock car has.
It's really good. I haven't regretted it for 1 second because, like, my main purpose of this car was commuting A to B.
Yeah.
It's not for performance or anything like that. It's literally commuting. So school run, motorway journeys, and it's been fantastic. The springs haven't lost me any comfort whatsoever.
Okay, so what about the handling? Because from my brief drives of the car, I think that's where the main improvement
Yeah,
is.
it's transformed the handling completely. You can take corners much quicker. You can do a quick lane change of direction like that, and the car is steady. It doesn't wobble when
The
swaying.
car, before you tried that stock, it would be going like that. When you came back, it wouldn't settle for ages. It'd keep swaying from left to right.
You feel seasick.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant. There's nothing bad I can say about it. They've really got this nail on the head.
Okay, so there's one other thing that we haven't talked about, which is a bit of a bonus, and we had heard about this before, that if you lowered the car, it improved the drag coefficient of the car and it increased range. Now, did you see an increase in range after the springs went on?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't do a proper scientific data log before and after over 1,000 miles or so, but from my journeys are pretty much the same every day. And what I noticed after the springs were installed, that the predicted mileage on the screen pretty much matched the ideal scenario, which is presented on the main screen in miles. So before, my predicted mileage was always off by maybe 5 to 10% less predicted mileage than the ideal mileage on the battery level.
Yeah.
After the springs, they were matching. So I think that worked out at around 6 to 7%. So exactly as MSS stated, I did gain range.
Cool. So that's an unexpected bonus. We weren't really expecting that.
I wasn't expecting it.
So we've got the aesthetics, we've got the comfort that's more or less stock, and you've got the improved handling and also the improved range.
Yes, so it's 3 out of 3 really.
Yeah.
It's no-brainer, absolute no-brainer.
Just keep turning off. Okay, so we've put a set of 20-inch 660 design monoblock wheels on here in the Emblem design. I think they suit the car perfectly. They're a lot lighter than stock wheels, and we were expecting an increase in range, but I think what's happened is because we've gone for a really aggressive offset to provide the looks, they're slightly outside of the wheel arch, so it's probably not helping with drag.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much flush. I think it's that plus maybe the spoke design, because there's no leading edge.
Yeah.
So they're kind of flat on direction of rotation to the air. So maybe they've just offset each other, and I haven't really seen any improvement in range.
Yeah. So yeah, because if you see a lot of EV wheels, they'll have the metal spokes, then they'll have like a flat plastic cover to help with the aero. So maybe that's something that we can look to design in the future, something that can go over the wheels just to help a little bit more.
I think in discussions with other owners, many Tesla owners, you know, for them range is really important. So if we can develop something that helps with that, I think it'll be a bonus.
Okay, so we're just on a road that has some speed bumps, so we can just demonstrate how easily it glides over these. What would be the comparison with stock over something like this?
So that's brilliant. I mean, it's still very well damped. It's not crashy at all. You feel the car. You obviously feel them a bit more because it's lower, it's stiffer, right? But because of the damping around the springs,
it just settles a lot quicker.
It's there, it's bang, and it gives you more confidence. So you slow down for bumps anyway, but there's no crashiness, and the comfort level is retained.
So we've swapped seats. So I have driven this car before, just after the MSS was fitted, and obviously before. So I'm not going to talk about the comfort so much because I'm not the one who daily drives it. But from a handling perspective, the car is literally transformed. Before, as Bilal mentioned, it was very floaty, and when you went into corner, you really felt the weight transferring over. And with the MSS now, it's just so much more sure-footed and planted. And that was even before we switched over the tyres on the wheels. So before, the car was on stock 19s, are they?
Yeah, 19s.
And they were running, do you know what brand of tyres that is on there?
They were Hankooks.
Hankooks, yeah. So
OEM tyres.
Not the performance one. So this is now running the same tyres as the performance model, so the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. So even not taking that into consideration, the amount of grip they give, the actual handling on the car has been transformed. And I think we were just discussing it a little while ago. It's like before, I don't think you could have had fun in this car on a country lane.
No, it's too unsettling. You try and do those sharp corners around country lanes on stock suspension, and it's just like a boat.
Yeah, and now it really is like confidence inspiring. The turning is really sharp, the car's really flat through the corners, and I can confirm that you can really have some fun with it. So overall, really good product, I think. I'm really happy with the way it's performing, and you're the one who's been living with it day to day. So
brilliant. I mean, yeah, I look at the car now, the stance it has, it's just spot on. I don't look at it and go, oh my god, Elon, what have you done? Too high.
I think one thing we forgot to mention all of this, suspension's really good, it's amazing, the wheels look crazy, but the wrap. So we gave the car to Dom, a wrap it, and he put a satin grey finish on the car, and it's really brought out the lines. Yeah. The car was white before and it looked a bit like a blob. Yeah, you couldn't really see the definition in the bodywork, in the lines. Now it looks like a different car almost. Yeah, and you've also de-chromed it. And had the badges done black by Ish at Quattro Coachworks. Yeah. So this is more or less a full transformation. The only thing, as I mentioned before, we've still got the Carbon Aero kit to design and bring out for that, and I'm really looking forward to the full transformation on the car. I think this car is going to look really good with the Carbon Aero stuff. It's almost like it needs it. The way it's finished at the moment is very rounded. Yeah. It needs a bit of aggression, so it's going to wear the carbon really well. So that concludes our rather extended introduction to our Tesla Model 3 project. Really happy with the MSS suspension. The guys have really knocked it out of the park. Improves the car aesthetically, improves the handling no end without sacrificing realistically any of the comfort that this car has. Dom at Wrap It has done a fantastic job of the wrap. It really brought out the lines of the car in this color, and the 660 design forged wheels look absolutely amazing. Now it is a bit strange seeing EV cars on this channel, but I think you're going to be seeing them a little bit more. It's a changing environment and we're going to embrace that change. We also ordered an i3S, and we're going to go through a similar transformation with that, so keep an eye on the channel. We haven't forgotten about the petrol cars, and they are still our love, so don't worry about it, they will still be on here. But for now, let's have a look and appreciate the Model 3 for what it is. We've still got the Evaero kit to design for this, so we're going to do a front lip, side blades, a rear diffuser and a rear spoiler, and we're going to try and involve you in the process of the development of that, so show you some mock-ups as we're going along, and actually show you the 3D printed prototypes when they're done. But for now, the MSS suspension is available, so if you're looking to transform the ride handling and the looks of your Tesla, please do get in touch. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you'd like to watch more of this project, you can do so over here. If you'd like to watch what YouTube suggests you might like from our other videos, you can watch that over here. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comment section and we'll do our best to answer them for you.